attack in Salisbury continues to escalate. Moscow's ambassador likened Britain's accusations against Russia to Nazi propaganda chief Joseph Goebbels. Speaking at a UN Security Council meeting, Sergei Nebenzia said the UK was playing with fire. Former Russian double agent Sergei Skripal is still in critical condition, but his daughter Yulia is recovering, making her first public statements overnight. Let's cross over to Matthew Chance in Moscow. The language getting very personal here.
Yes, it absolutely is, particularly at the UN Security Council, where these two permanent representatives from Britain and from Russia sat toe-to-toe, as it were, trading barbs over these allegations of Russian involvement in the Skripal poisoning, that chemical weapons attack on the streets of Salisbury. The Russian permanent representative to the UN Security Council launching a tirade against the British allegation, basically, as you mentioned, saying that Britain was playing with fire and would be sorry. Take a listen to what he had to say.
Lies that are repeated 1,000 times become the truth. We will demand answers from you to the questions we have put. And if you don't provide answers, we will then consider this as evidence of slander you have used against us.
All right, well, the response from the British was pretty forthright. Karen Pierce is the UN permanent representative from Britain at the UN Security Council. She said that the calls by Russia for a joint investigation into the Skripal poisoning was like an arsonist turned firefighter. The arsonist wishes to investigate his own fire. She said that Britain has nothing to hide, but she says that she fears that Russia has something to fear. So very barbed remarks there, as I said, from the Brits and from the Russians over this increasingly contentious issue of the Skripal poisoning, Max.
The Russians want access to Yulia, don't they, as a Russian citizen? They've probably got a case for that, haven't they? And she probably does have a lot of the answers here.
Well, they've absolutely got a case, but much of it comes down to what Yulia Skripal herself wants. Now she's up and talking, and we know this because she's issued a statement through the Metropolitan Police saying that she's getting stronger by the day. We also know that the British have gone to her. They've said this, and they've offered her a consular visit by Russian diplomats. But so far she has, we're told, yet to agree. The Russian ambassador to Britain has said that he hopes Yulia Skripal will resume her life back in Moscow, where she has a job and an apartment. But it's not altogether clear that she would want to do that, given that the allegations against Russia are that it was behind this poisoning of her father and of her. And so we'll see what Yulia Skripal's attitude towards her country is when she starts talking about it.
There's been lots of coverage of this, obviously, in state media in Russia. A phone call has been sort of broadcast. What do we know about that? I get that there's questions around its authenticity or who was involved there.
There is. It's a slightly odd one because it's a telephone conversation that was recorded by Victoria Skripal, who is the cousin of Yulia Skripal, the niece of Sergei Skripal, who lives here in Russia. And it's basically a telephone call between her and Yulia in which they talk about the medical condition. She says that they're getting better and there's nothing that's not fixable. She talks about the condition of her father. It's the first time that we've heard any indication of that. Yulia says that her father is asleep and is basically doing okay. It's not authenticated. Even Russian television said they couldn't vouch for its veracity. The concern is, I suppose, amongst critics, is that this is an example of Russia using this relative of the Skripals to play down the seriousness of the attack against those two individuals, and to put across this idea that they're not actually that sick, to chip away further at the British allegation, which is, of course, that this was a serious chemical weapons attack.
$100 billion now.